Nearpod is a great tool for using and making presentations. So today I'm going to go over kind of the basic features. So when you get to Nearpod, you're obviously going to want to log in, and then you will probably see a screen something like this. If you go to My Nearpod up at the upper right-hand corner, it will take you to this page. So my library is going to be any Nearpod you make. Explore allows you to look at other Nearpods on the site, and then Create is how you actually make a Nearpod. So I'm going to go straight to Create and go over the main features. So when you first join Nearpod, and when you first make a Nearpod, this is what it looks like. And you have one of two options. One, you can just upload a file straight to your Nearpod. So if you already have a PowerPoint or something like a PDF or something, you can upload it, or you can just add a slide. Now, when you add a slide, it gives you three choices. Content, which allows you to actually create a slide. So if you want to make something with text or an image or something, you can do Nearpod 3D. Sway, which is a Microsoft application, you can add that in as a slide. VR Field Trip, a slideshow, so if you have like images or something you want to add in. And then you can do video, audio, embedded PDF, or a Twitter stream. If you add web content, you can, and this is a premium feature, so you'll only be able to get this during your free trial. But what you can do from here is enter in a URL, and then the slide that shows up for students will take them to that site. And although you could put in a YouTube page here if you wanted to, it would be better to use the video feature that we saw earlier, because that allows you to post the YouTube link and it will embed the video, so it won't take them. So when you enter the website URL here, it actually takes them to an external site, but you can embed the video if you use the video feature, and then they won't be taken out of the Nearpod. Finally, under Add Slide, you can add an activity, and this is really useful because this is how you can engage students. You can add open-ended questions for students to answer. You can create a poll. You can create a quiz. They can draw something, collaborate, and the last few are fill in the blanks and a memory test. So those are the main features of what you can include within a Nearpod. So just so you guys can see an example of what it would look like if I did add slide, I'm going to do add activity, and I'll do an open-ended question. Then you just type in the question, and if you want, you can add math symbols. So this is useful if you're doing a Nearpod about math. And lastly, you can add an image. So let's say my open-ended question was, I could be doing a Nearpod when we came back, and it might say, what did you do over summer break? And so then it would set up this open-ended question, and then when students do the Nearpod, they would be able to answer this. Last thing I want to talk about is the preview feature down here. If you click preview, and then this way you can see exactly what your students would be seeing. So the Nearpod would get pushed out to all the students, and then this would show up and they would have time to answer. If they're doing it self-paced, once they answer, they can move on. But as a teacher, you actually can control the speed at which you go through the Nearpod, assuming you're maybe 1-to-1 or something. And then that way you could put this question out, and then you could move through it as you see fit, and it would automatically change what slide your students are on. So once you're done, you would go down to share, and then they have a couple of different options, but basically you can email it or you can get a link or something. Something to keep in mind is that you're sharing an editable copy, so you're basically adding other editors to your Nearpod when you click share. If you want to just use it, you would want to, well, let me title my lesson, called practice. Because right now, the Nearpod hasn't actually been created. So we want to go to create. Oh, I need a second slide, so I'll just add. This in. But until you actually click create and stuff, it won't do anything. So I'm just going to add text for the purpose of this. And then this would be how you would make a slide. But then, so once I have it, I would want to do save and exit. And then from there, that's how I would actually share the actual Nearpod. So you're in the editing and you share it, as I showed earlier, that allows you to add editors to your Nearpod. But here, I can share it like this, and then I can actually send it to other people with another editable copy, but you can also get the link and stuff for it. Another thing, so you can actually see now, these are all my lessons in Nearpod. You go here, if you do student paste versus live lesson, that's the difference I was addressing earlier. And then the only other thing I want to talk about is in these options here, you can actually export it as a PDF and get a report about what lesson answers were and stuff. So that's how Nearpod works. It's a pretty great tool, and it's nice because you can I love the option of having students either paste themselves or actually pushing it out to them.